organization and you had to deal with that your entire life because you had a direct experience with that particular situation. Activism or social justice starts with our own experiences, our own life experiences, our own realities. So for instance, in my case, I created this organization to support young women and young Latinas in particular because I was working for a suicide prevention program in Brooklyn, where I was speaking directly with young girls between the ages of 13 and 17 telling me that they wanted to end their lives. And my own particular experience of migrating to a new country, being able to study on my own, being able to accomplish what I wanted to do in a foreign place from where I was born, made me believe that I could share that message with these young women and let them know that there was more to life out there than, trying to commit suicide. And that's where my activism started. And what it was said before is that it may be like it may seem impossible to think that you can change the entire world. But you can start for what is important to you. And by that I mean, back then, I knew I wanted to do something, but I didn't know exactly where to start. And then it had to become very specific, and it was about women and about young women, and then it got to education, until it was about creating this organization that became to be what it is today. Something may be impossible, and that's what stops most people. If you have an idea and you say, I would love to, I'm so passionate about helping, animals, but I don't know even where to start. The best way to start is by Googling, which is the easiest way to do it now. How can I help this particular movement that I'm interested in? And then a million things will come up that you can join and that you can participate in. Now the other thing that I would say is that it may be also impossible when you think about where can I find the people to support my idea. And the reason I'm saying all of this is because by me creating the organization, I was only able to do that by putting together a lot of people that I knew could support what I wanted to transfer from just an idea to an actual tangible organization. Most people don't stop at the same step, and the first step, because they think people are going to say no, and that's the biggest problem and challenge, I would say. If you think about, oh, I have this idea, but if I share it with somebody, if I ask for support, they're just going to say no. At the time, I was going to NYU, and I knew that I could reach out to different departments that would support diversity and culture and Latino studies, or Latino movements in New York City. So I reached out to different departments, and I got yeses from all of them to start this. And it was 5 years ago, and today it's a complete different situation where we were able to not only create an organization, but grow and grow more. So my overall message with this is, think today, and you can see all of us here, and you may think, oh, they got it all, figured out, and they just appeared today here, and they're so, they had all the money they needed, and they had all the support they needed, and yeah, you don't know where I come from, and believe me, this is the kind of, not aside from the young men here, I have this type of conversations with our young women in our programs every single day, starting from yesterday. We work in all boroughs. We work in the Bronx, and Brooklyn, and Queens, and Harlem. And we are not talking about schools that are private and have all the privileges, okay? I'm talking about young women like yourselves and the men that may think like, oh yeah, you don't know where I come from, and we know. Because I would dare to say that we all had to work very hard for what we're doing right now. And we don't have this perfect, past lives. So you may sit there thinking that we all have it all figured out, but we don't. And the reason we're here today is to provide our guidance of how we got to where we are today from where you're sitting right now.